She bit her tongue. She accidentally bit her tongue. She accidentally bit her tongue quite hard. While she was chewing, she accidentally bit her tongue quite hard. While she was chewing the meat, which was surprisingly tough, she accidentally bit her tongue quite hard enough for someone frightened of pain. While she was chewing the meat, which was surprisingly tough, considering what she was paying for it, she accidentally bit her tongue quite hard enough for someone frightened of pain, who always wanted a local anaesthetic. While she was talking, but still stolidly chewing the meat, which tasted deliciously burnt and garlicky, but was surprisingly tough considering what she was paying for it, though not only for the meat itself, of course, but for the waiters, the tablecloth, the lights. She accidentally bit her tongue quite hard enough for someone frightened of pain, who always wanted a local anaesthetic, even for the smallest filling when she went to the dentist, or cried angrily when she fell over as a small child. While she was talking, trying to explain that she loved him, but still stolidly chewing the meat, which tasted deliciously burnt and garlicky, and with some combination of herbs that included thyme, but was surprisingly tough considering what she was paying for it. Though not only for the meat itself, of course, but for the slightly flirtatious waiters, the white tablecloth, the unusual lights, and, of course, the cooks, the washers-up, the cleaners. She accidentally bit her tongue quite hard enough for someone frightened of pain, who always wanted a local anaesthetic, even for the smallest filling when she went to the dentist, or cried angrily when she fell over as a small child, as if her parents had pushed her. While she was talking, trying to explain that she loved him, but couldn't go on seeing him while he lived with his wife, but still stolidly chewing the meat, which tasted deliciously burnt and garlicky, and with some combination of herbs that included rosemary and thyme, but was surprisingly tough considering what she was paying for it. Insisting, as always, on paying for herself, even if it meant lentils all week. Though not only for the meat itself, of course, but for the slightly flirtatious waiters, the white tablecloth, the unusual lights, and of course the cooks in the hot kitchen, the almost certainly underpaid washers-up, the cleaners not legally here, escaping some horror. She accidentally bit her tongue quite hard enough for someone frightened of pain, who always wanted a local anaesthetic, even for the smallest filling when she went to the dentist, despite his gentle hands and classical music, or cried angrily when she fell over, cutting her knees as a small child, as if her concerned parents, giving her a cuddle, had in fact pushed her and still felt the world was against her. While she was talking, trying to explain when he'd let her get a word in, that she loved him but couldn't go on seeing him while he lived with his wife, a conversation they had now every time they met, which was more and more often, but still stolidly chewing the lukewarm meat, which tasted deliciously burnt, bloody and garlicky, and with some combination of sweet herbs that included rosemary and thyme, but was surprisingly tough considering what she was paying for it, insisting as always on paying for herself, even if it meant lentils and rice all week. Though not only for the meat itself, of course, but for the dark, slightly flirtatious waiters, less attractive than they thought. The heavy white tablecloth and several forks, the soft chairs and unusual lights, and of course the chef and his anxious apprentice cooks in the hot kitchen. The almost certainly underpaid washers-up, telling themselves they'd get a better job soon. The cleaners not legally here, escaping some horror in a container perhaps. She accidentally bit her tongue quite hard enough for someone frightened of pain, who wondered if the small mole on her arm was cancer, but wouldn't go to the doctor, and always wanted a local anaesthetic, even for the smallest filling. When she went to the dentist, despite his gentle hands and classical music, and didn't even like the way he dug around the gums with his sharp hook to clean her teeth, or cried angrily when she fell over, cutting her knees as a small child, as if her concerned parents, giving her a cuddle, had in fact pushed her, and still felt the world was against her when objects or people bumped into her so that she stopped what she was saying and cried out. While she was quietly and insistently talking, trying to explain when he'd let her get a word in that she loved him but couldn't go on seeing him while he lived with his wife, whose fair hair and annoying ways she'd never seen but endlessly heard about. And anyway, they thought differently about every possible political and religious issue, which was clearer than ever in the present crisis. So how could they ever be happy? A conversation they had now every time they met, which was more and more often, every day or twice a day, with text messages in between, but still stolidly chewing the lukewarm meat, which tasted deliciously burnt, bloody and garlicky, and with some combination of sweet herbs that included rosemary and thyme, but was surprisingly tough considering what she was paying for it, insisting as always with him on paying for herself, even if it meant lentils and rice all week. Though not only for the meat itself, of course, but for what made it a place to come on their anniversary. The dark, slightly flirtatious waiters, less attractive than they thought. The heavy white tablecloth and several forks. The glasses that made the wine taste better. The soft red chairs and unusual prize-winning lights. And of course the famously impatient chef and his anxious apprentice cooks in the hot kitchen. The almost certainly underpaid washers-up, telling themselves and each other they'd get a better job soon. The cleaners not legally here, escaping some horror in a container perhaps, or anyway struggling and saving to get here, and briefly triumphant to have even this job and be sending money back to their families from one of those shops where you can send money and make cheap phone calls all over the world. She accidentally bit her tongue quite hard enough for someone frightened of pain, who wondered if the small mole on her arm was cancer, but wouldn't go to the doctor because she'd seen her sister die, and always wanted a local anaesthetic, even for the smallest filling, when she went to the gay dentist she'd had for years, despite his gentle hands and slightly boring classical music, and didn't even like the way he dug round the gums with his sharp hook to clean her teeth, or cried angrily when she fell over, cutting her knees as a small child, as if her concerned parents, dead now, giving her a kiss and cuddle, had in fact brutally pushed her, and still felt the whole world was against her, when objects like car doors or people like politicians bumped into her, a car door knocking her off her bike once into the gutter, so she scraped her shin and got her coat muddy, and politicians never doing what she hoped, even when she wrote letters and went to meetings, so that she stopped what she was saying and cried out, and he said, "What? What?" And she said, "No, it's nothing. I just bit my tongue," and laughed.